Hey folks, fWhip here, and welcome back to Hardcore Minecraft, where I just finished up episode 33, building up the copper factory, and I thought we could do a little tour around the zone, since I added in a ton of detail bits and built out everything over here. A bit of a slower walkthrough could be kind of fun, so if you want to see this stuff more often, be sure to let me know down in the comments below, and leave a like here on the second channel. Subscribe if you haven't already, thank you very much, and let's check this all out. Copper factory, right here, this big old guy. I absolutely love how it turned out. You can see all of the light glowing throughout there, but because of the tinted glass, it's not coming through. Also, I'm using the Rethinking Voxel shader pack if you want to check that one out. It is very intensive, but I absolutely love it. It's working out really well on my new PC. Inside of here, we have the receiving area where all of the raw copper comes in. It gets processed over in this weird little conveyor belty thing. If I had more space, I would have done something different here, but I think it worked out well enough that it's a-okay with me. That kind of pushes everything along here, comes over to a smashing thing, gets turned into a raw copper here, which is sitting on all of the item frames. That is all sent up here, then somehow drops into that hopper. I'm assuming it just like plop, 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 plop down into our cart to send things along, and I think it turned out really well. We've got one staircase to get up here to the second floor that I didn't really have too much space to decorate with, so I just kind of left it blank and removed the third floor by putting in the dark oak ceiling here. I guess I could have done a small office area over here. Whoa, if I stand in the light, I love this shader pack. Wow, I'm blocking the light and the light's back. Okay, moving on. I promise. It might be a little framey. I'm getting 70 FPS, but the recording looks a little weird, so it should hopefully be okay. I tried to not over decorate this area since it was really meant to be like a working quarters, so I didn't put any shelving or anything on the walls, just purely for getting the copper in here, moving it around, smashing it, and sending it over. I figured they wouldn't be storing many things in here outside of this little section, so I kind of left that as is. Now, if we come out here in front, it seems to be turning to nighttime though. And much better. Daytime is here. If we come around to this back section, all of the carts that have that raw copper would be moving throughout here in the lore that I've created behind the copper factory. I didn't get around to detailing all of these cliff faces. I do want to cover that, and I'll show you the idea I have for it here in a minute, but we'll get to that soon. Over here, I have a little weird workstation-y thing. I don't know, I wanted something darker in here than all the wood elements. We've got a cart kind of moving some things around. Inside of here, we have the big fires going on. I just did some netherrack with fire on top of it, so it would keep going on forever and just kind of blend into the area. I did add a little bit of the red sandstone walls up there just for that pop of color, and I think it turned out really well. Kind of blends in with our smoker into all that wood and stuff up there to hide our campfires, in really big contrast to the deep slate down here. Then we also have the acacia trapdoors, which it really comes in touch with there too. So it worked out pretty well. Over here is just kind of like a general storage. We got some logs to keep the fires going and all of this stuff. The idea would be that the raw copper comes back here, kind of gets stored there temporarily, and then gets smelted down inside of these big things and actual blast furnaces. So, you could use it if you want to. There's a third one over here. They're all the same design. And I did add in right up here, you can see wither skeleton skulls. I thought they looked kind of cool as little tiny caps to it. So I added those in just for the extra detail. Now this back corner here is kind of doing its own thing, and that looks really weird with the soul lantern, like the blue light coming out of it. But I wanted a small reactor thing. You'll see I actually used one up there as well. Oh, you can see it right there. Perfect. Just on the back of the mud factory, just for the heck of it. But this one I actually did connect right over here into these big old towers that I still don't know what they would do, but I like them. I think they look fun and just add another techie element. And back here, we have a little bit more storage leading up to the back of our watermill, which we'll get to in a moment. For the people in like the management section, they'd have a little balcony to look out over all the workers producing the copper and everything, so they can kind of oversee it all. We've got a door in here. This is the only interior that I didn't do, but wow, the frog lights look really cool. That does plop us right back out over here, though, in the main front courtyard, where we do have a weird staircase with the slabs and stairs. I've just been loving this as something different recently, and it leads you all the way up here to where you can kind of get in back into this crazy light room that we're just going to close the doors because that's very bright. There's a little bit of storage out here in the middle. People suggested adding in some benches, so I might come back and do that somewhere in here just as a place for the workmen to hang out if they're on lunch break or something like that. But they don't want to leave the area. But speaking of leaving the area, here we have the export. So we have all of the smelted copper down here, symbolized with some cut copper because I wanted to be cheap instead of putting the full blocks in. So we have those in here on this cart that's already loaded. We've got a little conveyor lifting system up here where I'd assume that hopper would be able to go back and forth. with these chains being able to turn with the grindstones, and then it'd be able to raise and lower and put things up and down as it goes. Doesn't have the most complex control machine, so who knows how it really works, but it's Minecraft and can't move anyway, so it's fine. A little bit of extra detail back there. Come around to this corner over here. I've been going around and adding in a few micro blocks after the video just for some fun. Might as well just do something. We've got a little lofty space up here where somebody could sleep if they have to work the night shift or something like that, or if they just don't want to go back home. Then around this very tight corner, we have the back of those big tank things on the outside right in there, and I just added all that detail in, just and a bunch of walls moving around to really bring everything together. There's also a skylight in here that I thought was really fun that I showed in the video, of just a way to get some light in here with more natural light, especially if we're using the shaders. I thought it was kind of fun. This place had absolutely no texturing done to it, but this staircase right here is what leads down into the actual copper factory portion of the build. Since, ooh, glowy, wow, look at that. And this is able to age 1 stack per layer of copper. So we have 4 stacks of copper, all aging down here to the final stage. And it looks like they're actually ready to be harvested. So I'll have to come back and do that a little later. Full honesty, I built this little staircase into the room over here at the front. And then I was like, yeah, I'm just going to build a wall on the inside. It's not going to go anywhere. But I really like how it looks aesthetically from the outside. So maybe one day we'll figure out how to link that in. But that is pretty much everything for the copper factory. I need to figure out what I want to do over in this corner here with this remaining space, because it needs to be filled with something. So if you have ideas, let me know down in the comments. But then for the other city buildings and custom stuff that we built in the episode, we've got this with the orange terracotta, the little oak up there. And then we have our deep slate tile roof, which is a new roof style that I tried that I like a lot. And this will be some sort of a shop. I don't really know too much on the inside of what I want to do for this one. Then we've got a really old school style for this world that I was pretty much building like a year ago, trying to blend it all in with this guy, but then I threw some warp planks in the roof. We've got our new water mill right over here with the wheel right over the little canal that we've dug out that I love so very much. I think it turned out really, really well. Let's go out this way where, yes, we have another one of those gray things that I took from over there, and I was like, I like it. Let's put it here. And I think that's totally okay. When you're building a city, you really just have to take the different elements, because you got to think that people are like, oh, they built that there. Okay, yeah, we're going to build the tavern here. And you know what? Let's just expand it out a little bit. So having shared elements to me is pretty good. As long as it doesn't look cookie cutter everywhere, it's okay to add it in every once in a while. Here on the front, though, we've got the tavern with like the little space up above for seating. There's no way to get up there currently, but there is a door. So we'll have to figure that out later. There's another balcony right out there for a small, tiny, maybe private dining. And now into the little back area that I love so very much. There is a staircase to get up to the second floor, but it just kind of falls right back down for now. It's okay. One day interiors will happen. We've got the small workstation back here. That's some sort of a smith, grindstone, blast furnace. They're like making something out here is the idea, and they maybe have some of the tools hanging up to be sold right there. Over in this corner, we've just got carrots and potatoes hanging out here, just growing up for a little veggie garden for the inn, and then a little extra storage there in the back. I added in the small little table and the micro blocks and the little flower pot just for fun to add a pop of color when you're in here, along with the tree right there we added in at the very end. I do want to come back and get some like barrels just stacked up right in here. I think could be good for this underpass. It needs a little something. The terracotta feels a bit flat. Now for the second building that had the orange terracotta on the front, we've got a little potato patch in here and a little seating area with some storage and everything. Then this giant tree that I am in love with. You can see some azalea leaves poking out in there in a few places, like right there. And then the rest is all of our jungle leaves. And it's so beautiful, just sticking up above the buildings where all the other trees are kind of like that tall, or like the height of the buildings. I wanted one that was a lot taller and didn't start low. So when I designed this and built it, I actually set a challenge for myself of saying, okay, right here, I can't put leaves until I'm 12 or 13 blocks above the ground. Like that was my rule I set for myself when building the tree, and I love how it turned out. Now for the cliff style I was talking about earlier that I need to do over there, my plan is to copy this same style that we did early on in the episode and just complete it around to that side, just to keep everything on brand and on theme for it all. I think that'll look really good. And we added a few more elements into the original build of the industrial district right over here. So I just decorated out this a little bit more. This birch tree is brand new in there too, I believe. This tree is brand new in here. And the little hedge there with our azalea bushes is new, as well as a lot of the storage. Basically all of the street decorations are brand new, We've got a smith in here that needs an interior on the base, but it's got a giant forge out the back, so you see all the smoke. This guy here is our mud farm, so he just needs some decoration. We got a weird little carrot farm. Carrot patch just kind of inching its way around the edge, which I really like, just kind of working with the terrain. We've got a fish and chips stand right over here where we've got some salmon, cod, and potatoes just hanging out, ready to go. Big barrels of fish in the back, ready to be thrown in the cookers to be able to be served to people who are working in the area. This is kind of a lunch spot. This is meant to be like salmon here, then that's just like some other type of fish. I don't know, I used the prismarine. And on the back corner, we added this little carpenter's place, which I really, really do like. I thought it was really fun just building out some sort of a workshop station in here. Doesn't look like it makes too much sense, but I think it just helps it feel busy and being used. But because I don't think we've toured too much around the old place, let's take a little bit more of an in-depth look down here. We've got the llamas that were attacking me. We got a big old place that, whoa, shader, glitchy. Okay, yeah, the llamas, you guys chill. Inside of this building is where we have the mud farm that I still need to get a worse shovel for. I need to go down to iron shovel to make that thing work. Unfortunately, even with the diamond, it's still a little too quick. Over here, we've got some jungle planks and granite for the little awning covering and giving some shade in here. And then we've got our forge, we've got some more logs, and we've just got other stuff around to keep it busy and full. I did come back in and add a few chickens into here, and it looks like they're not able to jump out if I added this trapdoor, but without the trapdoor, they were able to like jump into that wall and get on top. So this way they actually stay inside, and there's a few in the coop itself. Do we get another? We do! Hi, buddy! Added a bunch of jungle leaves along there and a few little yellow flowers. Then coming down here, this still needs an interior on it. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be a thing. But we've got the ramp to come down to the dock that also needs some love and just detail and life, but I'm waiting on that until I start throwing in some ships. I've got a few ideas sent over to me that are going to be really cool, so I think I'll get those in sooner rather than later, I hope, because I want to keep working on this zone. I'm really loving it right now. And I don't want to forget about it and come back later because it feels weird to leave it for so long. But yeah, right now it's kind of as is. Up here at the warehouse that we have all of these chests in, this is the dirt storage that y'all have seen. It's looking really, really good. Absolutely love it so very much. So we've got all those. I finally got a lot more rooted dirt, which I'm super happy about. We've got a little wheelbarrow out front to move the dirt around if you need to. And a big old beautiful oak tree over there, which is so very fun. Continuing over this way leads us back into where the fish and chips shop was and all those things. And that storefront needs to be decorated and filled out. Or we come up here to the second layer of our warehouse. And then we also have some horses right here ready to go if they're needed up at our mud factory, brick factory, kind of all of the above. Big old factory zone. I use a lot of micro blocks and slabs and things in here to make it look like bricks are being dried, and I love it. And then over here, we've got the big old forges that are cooking all of our bricks down, which is really cool. Got coverings in between each of them, so it just doesn't feel too overwhelming, but I really want it to be a presence that's also thinking about the workers being here instead of just like barrel and chest spam all over. So we got clay that's ready to be turned into bricks and be thrown in to be cooked. We've got a big old pile of coal back here. I tried to turn this into like a shovel, so an upside down lightning rod. I don't know if it works out too well, but I'm gonna leave it. Now inside of this one, I'll have to come back and update for 120 because we've got the pots in here, so all of our flower pots. So once we get vases, I can add those back in here to be really, really cool. And the forges go all the way around over there, which is looking really good. And then inside of the building itself, the farm that was now broken on me 3 times, we have the clay farm. It keeps breaking because I keep accidentally flipping that to there when it needs to be in there. But it's fine. I've got it working now, and I know why it breaks, so that's good. Ton of trees up here on the top, which are looking really good. And I've got another design I want to add in with some mangrove leaves and using oak for the trunk that I want to add in to just kind of keep the forest going up the side of the cliffs, which would be really cool. And just get some more variation in there. And I think it's gonna be really good. So I'll have to get those in soon. But that's a good start to what I want like the bordering mountain edge to be like before, you know, we get into being a little too crazy and maybe transforming the mountains. It's a lofty goal, but I would love to do it one day. I think just having everything here being completely custom terraformed and all that stuff inside of... We fly up here into the sky. You can see there's mountain range there, mountain range there. We've got mountain range over there with our old city section and a giant mountain range right over here. If I were able to customize and turn all of everything inside of this basically circle into custom terrain that I've made completely myself, I feel like that'd be such an amazing accomplishment. So I'm kind of thinking about doing it. Maybe that'll be something down the road. No, not in the pit, not in the pit, not in the pit. chest piece on. But this video is meant to be about touring around this place, not talking about a ton of future plans. Speaking of which, I need to get a bunch of dirt over there, but that'll be for the future. Hope y'all enjoyed this one. Thank you so very much for watching the little tour. Again, if you do want to see more stuff like this, leave a like down below. That's the easiest way to tell me. Subscribe if you're new to fWhip too. And with that, my friends, I'll catch y'all on the flip side.